We know that the rhetoric here in the past couple of years has been defund the police, and that is not what we need in this country, particularly in our schools. And I'll be quite honest with you now. The tragedy that occurred in Uvalde, there were some serious errors made in the policing, and that needs to be looked into. But we need to make sure we've got proper policing. That's extremely important. Also, the mental health aspect of it. Look, a sane person does not go into a school or into a grocery store and shoot up people. I mean, that shows there is a mental instability there, and we've got to address that.
The NRA has done such a good job of pounding into the heads of Americans who love guns. They're here to take your guns away. And we're not interested in taking anyone's guns away that want to use it to go hunting, to protect themselves. But you don't need an Uzi. You do not need an AR-15. There are 20 million of those guns circulating in this country right now. 320 of these shootings in schools since Columbine. That's an extraordinary number. And we have 1,800 kids every year that die from gun violence. That's the equivalent of a 737 crashing every month for a year.
I think it's the prerogative of the state and of the teachers. If they want to carry a weapon, I think they should be allowed to. However, I think the key here in the schools is the school resource officers. There should be at least one, and ideally two, school resource officers in every school in America. No reason why there should not be at least one school resource officer in a school in America.
My goddaughter is a teacher in an elementary school. And she says, they want us to put body armor on now and shoot a gun when they preclude us from using certain kinds of sanitizers in the classroom. We ask so much of these teachers. They're guardians of these kids on so many levels because they know when they're getting bruised or when they haven't had, a hot meal in 2 or 3 days, or parents they know a lot. But to then require them on top of all the other reporting that they're expected to do to now wear body armor. And, that one Uvalde teacher who did survive and 11 of his students were massacred, he said no amount of training is going to fix this. We were told to hide under a desk. And by hiding under a desk, they were all sitting ducks.
It does help. And it helps because obviously, if someone knows there's a school, if a criminal knows there's a school resource officer, then, maybe they think twice about doing something like this. And that's certainly good. And it helps minimize the number of incidents that happen at the schools. The number of 911 calls that happen decreases when you have a school resource officer there. And so, it does work, and it is very beneficial.
Experts who look at these kids that commit these horrendous crimes are not loners as much as they want to be joiners, and have somehow not found a group to be part of in their schools. And so they feel rejected, and this is how they address it. When you have a resource officer on campus, oftentimes they are the person to whom a student will go when they've heard that this kid's about to shoot up everybody. What I've heard from experts who've really studied this, that the students in the school, whether it's a middle school, a high school, there's some knowledge about it among the kids, but they don't know who to go to, or they do go to the resource officer.
No, not really. It does not. It does a lot of things that, in my opinion, infringe on the Second Amendment. With the red flag laws, I've never been a fan of red flag laws. I don't think you should have to go to court and prove yourself innocent. And with red flag laws, that's what you have to do. I understand people's reasoning behind this and why they want to do it. A longer waiting period, universal background checks, all of those things. But look, the key again is going to be the mental health aspect of it. That's what we've got to address.